Hello everyone, my name is Josue Herrera, and the topic I'm going to be talking about is cross-cultural interactions between the Romans and the Christians anywhere between the beginning through the 400s AD. The name Christian came from the Romans because Christians worshipped a man called Christ. Christians themselves refer to themselves as ecclesia, church, for short. You may find yourself asking how and when did this relationship between the Christians and the Romans begin. You could see that the first mention of the Christian movement by a Roman writer, Pliny, was at the beginning of the 2nd century. Although Christianity is a big religion nowadays, it wasn't so big in the early days. The Christian population only took up a small percentage of the entire Roman Empire. Therefore, they weren't known by many. Just like I mentioned earlier, the very first mention of this Christian movement wasn't until the 2nd century. Christians were targeted by the Roman Empire because their style of worship did not correlate with the Roman religion. From the very beginning, Christians emphasized the distance between themselves and practitioners of pagan religion. To hear them tell it, becoming Christian was something entirely new. There was no correlation between Christianity and the Gentile religion practiced by their neighbors and by themselves before their conversion. There was a such thing called worship of emperor in Rome, where the emperor used all sorts of divine titles for themselves, such as Savior, Lord, and God. And Christians proclaiming that Jesus was King of Kings raised certain questions. This statement made it seem to the public that they were greater than everyone else because their God was greater than whomever was in charge. As you can see, this is precisely the conclusion reached by Celsus and Porphyry, who feared that allegiance to the Christian God, especially as focused in Jesus, would weaken allegiance to the gods of the Roman Empire and thus ultimately weaken the empire itself. A fear that proved to be well founded when adherents of the superstition gradually found the courage to say no to human kings in the name of the kings of kings. The purpose of the official religion of Rome was to provide religious ceremonies to gods who guaranteed stability and power of Rome. The Roman Senate was deeply concerned lest this official religion undermine any way for such action to weaken the state. There were certain rules that everyone had to follow, and whoever didn't follow these rules were seen as deviant. Christians didn't follow all the rules the Romans set out, so they were often seen as deviant.